As Tony Robbins would say, winter is coming and not in the season. Recession is on its way. And if you want to know the key things I think you should focus on to lead your business through this period of time and take advantage of any possible opportunities, then this episode is for you. Hello, it's Emma Mills here and welcome to episode 196 of my TV, which this week is about winter. And I don't mean log fires and mulled wine and wrapping up warm. I mean the financial winter, which is inevitably, I'm sure everybody can agree, we can see is coming our way. And just one thing I will say, this is not unusual and a big shock and things have never been worse than they are now. That's not true. This is a pattern and it happens every 12, 15 years. We get a recession, which is winter. We get a really good time then, which follows, which is spring and summer. Like this, it is a pattern. And again, it will happen in probably another 12, 15 years if the robots haven't taken over. But it happens. So this episode is not about doom and gloom at all. It's about the 4 key things, because just remember that in every crisis, there is always opportunity. In every recession, people have always thrived. Contrary to what the news is going to throw out, there are people out there who are thriving, who are doing well, who are running good businesses, who are making more money, who've capitalized on opportunities. And today's episode is about the 4 things I think that are important to focus on. And it's not everything, but the 4 things that I think will set you in really good stead. So number 1. Focus on what you can control. And before you roll your eyes, this is going to be woo-woo stuff, unroll them, because this for me is the number 1. This makes everything else that you need to do happen. Because once your mind starts to go into overdrive and you are consuming the news, the media, you like it's game over. So this is number 1. You need to guard what goes in here. You need to consume positive educational content. There was a meme that got sent to me the other day and it was Walt Disney, but I very doubt Walt Disney was the person who said this. And it said, I heard there's going to be a recession. I am choosing not to participate in it. And while it might, some people think that's a little bit glib, in that I know there are businesses that will be affected who are in certain sectors or industries that just are affected by it. There are lots of business owners who will start to contract and have less activity, cut costs, just do lots of reactive things because they are immediately choosing to be a part of the recession. And while I'm not saying to not be careful with money and expense, I'm just talking about don't let this be so overwhelming that it's the only way you make decisions or all you think about. What goes into your mind and how you control it is the number 1 for me. If you are optimistic, if you have energy, if you are ready to, okay, this is happening, but I'm still going to focus on my business, what I can control, getting new customers, marketing. There's a lot of deep thinking to be done in this episode, but number 1, focus on your mindset. Number 2, you need to double down on your marketing. And this episode is not about quick wins, because to get good results in life, these aren't quick, easy things. But stopping spend on marketing is possibly the worst thing you can do. It's the same that happened in COVID. The businesses that carried on marketing, getting attention from customers, exactly the same thing is going to be relevant now in the recession. So double down on what has worked well for you before. And if you don't know, look back at where you get your customers from. If you don't know where you get your customers from, now is the time. If you don't have time in the week, this weekend, look at where you got the past year's worth of customers from. Were they referrals, leaflets, Google ads, networking events? Was it BNI? What has worked for you? And make sure you double down on those things that have worked really well. Now is the time to stay strong, promote the services that you have, and really double down on getting customers and business into you and not being fearful. Number 3, who can you help or market to more than you have ever helped before? So ultimately, there will always be businesses that are going to thrive. And so personally, as an example, at my PA, we are thinking about what sectors generally thrive in a recession, that they will come out bigger than before. In 2008, lots of businesses started and thrived. So as an example, whether they are software and tech automation businesses, is that a market we should start targeting? These aren't quick wins that, riding out a recession is not about 4 quick wins, but it's about doing the proper thinking. So for example, everybody's quite cost conscious at the moment. If you are, as one example, a plumber, what kind of things can you market, implement, advertise that will help your customers save money? Is that replacing boilers? Is that putting in controls and things that can help manage use or make heating more effective and efficient? I'm no expert in that, but what I'm talking about is starting to think about the things that people are aware of, conscious of. Cost of living rise, like, does your business affect any of those parts that you can start to give more advice and value than ever before? And this is not about having to have a big marketing team behind you. It might just be writing an email from the heart from you about, actually, this would be really, like, this is a really great tip if you want to do X. It might be just holding your phone, landscape, recording a little video to say, hi, I was just thinking this would be really helpful. Like, this is a really good tip for doing X, Y, and Z, and sending it out to the customers on your list. This is not about having to have big resources. It's about thinking, how can I really help my customer, who might be either cost conscious or they might be thriving, and I can support them. And again, if you don't have the time in the week, it's the kind of thing you should be not watching, a film or Netflix, or just taking an hour to go, actually, what might that look like in my business? Number 4 is about your finances, but it's not necessarily about cutting costs. That goes without saying, and I'm sure every business has subscriptions they've signed up to, little, £5, £10 here and there, that actually will be a really good use of time to go through and just see what is actually really, really useful for you. But my focus on finance is, how are you going to make sure that you get paid when you should get paid and on time? And whether that's implementing a direct debit system and go cardless, whether it's taking a deposit up front. I always find that with money, one of the biggest things in business owners' mindset is about being almost apologetic to ask for the money, to collect the money before work is done. If you ever have people that don't pay you, that cancel last minute, so annoying. Now is another, these 4 points, you just scheduled an hour over the next 4 weeks to think about them. Schedule an hour for, how can I make sure the money that I collect in, the work we deliver, the service is way more robust. That's like, whether it's go cardless links, whether it's not doing the work until the invoice has been paid, whether it's taking a deposit, whether it's signing up to a direct debit just before the work starts. Don't necessarily need to take in advance, but before you do work, having some kind of financial commitment of either physically taking the money or signing up to the means by which the money is taken, for me, is really, really important. That you make sure you maximize. The last thing anybody wants through this period of time is bad debts, is people who say they're going to do one thing and then don't, who book jobs in and take up your calendar and then don't want the work, and you're looking to fill a slot the last minute. Onboarding fees, deposits, go cardless, guarantees to pay. What can you implement into your business to make sure that cash flows easy and you're not having to spend time chasing invoices, and that time can be spent in way better places? I hope these 4 things help you. This was not meant to be an extensive documentary on recession beating. It's about 4 things that I think are, number 1, for sure, your mindset. I mean, it goes to any part of your life, but the other 3, if you were to schedule an hour over the coming weeks to do a bit of the deep thinking, which any business owner who wants to win has to do the deep thinking. COVID, not that long ago, taught us that as well. Those that still marketed, still helped their customers, thrived out of the other side of it. If you need help with any part of it, hit me up. You know where I am. I'm more than happy to help. And I hope this week's episode just gives you a little bit of something to think about over the coming 4 weeks in September, October. And I'll see you next week for episode 197. See you then. Bye-bye.